Well, everybody. Looks like we have another Horror Nights announcement, and that Horror Nights announcement is coming from Hollywood. Universal Studios Hollywood has officially announced their next haunted house for this year's HHN. But before we get into that, of course, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button with those bell notifications on and leave this video a like at the end if you do enjoy it. Now, Hollywood has been putting out a lot of teases over the past couple days or so. The first tease came from the Horror Nights Twitter account, and they all came from the Horror Nights Twitter account for that matter. It was a radioactive kind of sign with dust blowing in the background, and I guess this could have been our first hint as to exactly what the theme was going to be. Everybody thought it was going to be Toxic Tunnel. Let me tell y'all, I had a very high suspicion that it was not going to be the Toxic Tunnel. But of course, people are going to think what they want to think, and obviously all the ties and all the themes and everything seemed like it was going to be Toxic Tunnel. And then the second two teases were a picture of the actual monsters that we are going to see in this haunted house. Once again, tying into that Toxic Tunnel theme. There's like some blacklight reflective paint on one of the monsters, so could it have been Toxic Tunnel? Well, today we got confirmation it is not, as a brand new original haunted house, Dead Exposure Death Valley, is officially coming to Halloween Horror Nights 2024 at Universal Studios Hollywood. Now, a lot of you may be asking yourself, what exactly is this original haunted house? What is it going to be themed around? Well, actually, it looks like they're taking a lot of inspiration from the two Dead Exposure houses that were featured in Orlando. One in 2008, which was just Dead Exposure, and then it was followed up by Dead Exposure Patient Zero. Ours is called Dead Exposure Death Valley, so this will be no sequel or anything. It's just they're getting inspiration from it and obviously using the theme and the name and everything. And Death Valley, you know, we know it's like dirt and dust and all that stuff, so I mean that alone is why I think that theme was hidden in the first kind of tease for Horror Nights' Twitter account, you know, with the dust blowing in the background. I don't know, can we make that connection already? Regardless, let me tell y'all the little bit of details that Murdy shared and Universal shared as far as this brand new house goes. A Secret Labs attempt to create super soldiers takes a turn for the worse, creating radioactive zombies who escape just as you arrive. So that was kind of the snippet that Universal gave us. Now, Murdy went on to Twitter and obviously gave us a little bit of details confirming that this will be located in the actual Mummy location, and that there's still more details to be added to the facade. We all know the facade looks already incredible. It looks like it's going to be big, and it looks like something is going to be crashing into this facade that you'll discover on both the outside and you'll discover throughout the house as you continue on. Murdy then went to talk about, aside from the obvious connection to the Orlando HHN houses, this house is trying to tap in to the existential fears of our times, as the genre of horror always has done. Namely, all the online theories on secret military labs and the speculation on what takes place inside. The setting in Death Valley is fictional. If you're going to build up a secret facility in order to conduct top secret experiments, build it in one of the most inhospitable places on Earth. As for radiation contamination, that's kind of drawn from real life experience. As for the facade, the big opening isn't the entrance to the house. Something has crashed through the front of it, which you'll view from outside and inside the house, and it'll continue to evolve in the coming weeks as details get added. So there's some tasty tidbits for you all. The big reason why I'm excited about this is people who actually went through the Orlando house say that it was one of the most intense Orlando houses that they have ever been in. It scared the living crap out of them, and the theming and everything was amazing. Orlando had a way different theme. It surrounded the idea of like photographs in a radioactive city, and hence the strobe lights blinking, simulating the photographs that were being taken. But if you've been to Orlando before, Orlando is not as scary and aggressive as Hollywood is. So if it was intense in Orlando, only imagine how intense Dead Exposure Death Valley will be in Hollywood. It is going to be one of the scariest haunted houses. And while yes, none of us have seen anything on the inside, the actual concept piece and the key art, I mean, that monster already looks terrifying, and we have actually seen stuff from the inside because the two sneak peeks that Horror Nights posted were actually monsters that will be featured in the house. So you got one obviously with like radioactive or radioactive goo or like black art reflective stuff on him, and then you have one with his brain busted open and the glowing red eyes that are going to look absolutely terrifying. I really hope that the strobe light effect isn't in place here, because I feel like the strobe lights in Orlando were a little bit too much. I get it was kind of simulating that photographing theme. However, I hope that that's not the case here in Hollywood. I hope you got to actually enjoy all the sets that are in the extended Mummy Queue. Now, me personally, I believe that this will be an underdog haunted house. I believe that the Mummy Queue is actually one of the first houses to go up, and the facade already looks extremely detailed. I mean, if they're following the traits of doing detail and doing tons of detail in the facade, then I'm sure they'll be doing tons of detail in the actual house. And let's not forget, Hollywood has knocked out of the park with Orlando Originals before. We obviously saw Scarecrow the Reaping, which Scarecrow the Reaping was one of the most intense Hollywood houses ever. The claustrophobic feel to it, and just the fact that they were able to put stilt walkers in there, and just different hidden scares that we're typically not used to in most haunted houses, not only at Universal but just at other haunts, was absolutely incredible. So I'll be really interested to see what they do with another Orlando original with Dead Exposure. And you know, Hollywood's kind of paying back the favor, because over in Orlando they're getting Monstros, the Monsters of Latin America. Well, that means now we have both a Quiet Place announced, which will be located in the former Walking Dead location, or where Evil Dead Rise was last year, and we have Dead Exposure Death Valley, where The Last of Us was located at, in the extended queue of Revenge of the Mummy the Ride, which you can see the actual facade work going on right now. If you stand on top of the Starway, you can see all the facade work going on, as well as the rest of the work for this haunted house, which is open during Halloween Horror Nights this fall at Universal Studios Hollywood. I'm really excited for this. I hope you guys are too, and if you are, please let me know down below in the comments section. Let me know your general thoughts as far as this announcement goes. I hope you guys get all the information from this video as far as what to expect, and if you enjoyed it, please leave it a like and subscribe with those bell notifications on if you're new here, so you never miss a video like the one that you're watching. A new Haunt Talk podcast will obviously be following this in a couple days or so, because we have the Dark Universe stuff to talk about for Epic Universe. We have DC Heroes and Villains Fest kind of to review, and of course now more in-depth talk about Dead Exposure, Death Valley on the Haunt Talk podcast. So make sure you go and watch the rest of the episodes down below in the description. My name is Scott, and you've been watching Exploring Attractions. Positivity is key, and most importantly, remember to keep exploring. Peace out, everybody.